What's up everybody, it's your boy MachoorTV. Today I've got a very important video for you guys. Anybody who wants to play Ryu or main Ryu, this is a crucial one. Understanding how to play neutral with Ryu. Understanding the ground game, what are you supposed to do, what are you not supposed to do. If you guys find this kind of videos very helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and let me know down in the comments what kind of videos do you like to see. Do you like to see tutorials? Do you like to see gameplay only or memes? What do you got? I got you covered, whatever you guys like. All right, so let me know in the comments below, and without any further ado, let's go to the practice mode. All right, so the whole idea is that you want to actually protect yourself. That is the main part of playing neutral. Just to understand the entire concept, you need to like protect yourself. Let me just bring the cursor over here. You see this part? You need to control this area. You need to protect yourself from this range. And from here, anybody who jumps on you, you need to be able to DP them, anti-air them. Anybody who whiffs something from here, you need to be able to punish them. You need to block whatever that is coming from this area. That's the first point, all right? So with Ryu, the main thing that you need to be able to do is to be able to do fireballs into DPs. So you need to play the fireball game and DP whenever somebody jumps. What I mean about this, it's not about just like, spamming fireballs all day long and then automatically you'll be able to DP when somebody jumps. No, there is some aspect of prediction when it comes to it, and also like spacing yourself correctly. If you can space yourself correctly, you can fireball relatively safely, that if somebody jumps on you, you'll be able to DP them on reaction, and your character will recover, or you will recover from the fireball that he's doing, and be able to DP in time for the jump in attack. All right, so if that's your plan, which it should be, what do you need to do in this range? I highly suggest that you do the light Hadouken. Okay, if you're going to do the light Hadouken, sorry, I was pressing the wrong button. So you need to do like the light Hadouken instead of the medium Hadouken or the heavy Hadouken. Okay, let's talk about the heavy Hadouken and the light Hadouken. So the heavy Hadouken is very fast. It's not very fast, but it is faster than the light Hadouken. It's good for like for like catching people off guard. So basically, if somebody is like pressing a button or something like that, this will actually hit them and get them just a tiny bit of damage, just 600 points of damage. That's not much, all right? But if you want to be able to control the neutral, let's say from here you can, I guess you can safely like throw some heavy fireballs from here. It can be done, okay? But if you, let's say that you're from here, you're a little bit closer, I highly suggest that you don't do heavy fireballs at all from this range. If you want to throw a fireball from here, throw the light one, because the recovery is actually faster. Here you would not be throwing fireballs, right? It's very close, and on top of that, they have to be like waiting for the fireball to actually like go and punish you. But if the fireball catches them on like off guard, like they're not expecting it, they probably cannot jump and react. Like you can see from here, if I'm talking to you guys and I try to jump, it's a little bit difficult for me to be like, you see what I'm talking about, right? I can't really punish it if I'm not 100% ready for the fireball. So that is the whole point. The whole point is that if you want to throw fireballs in neutral from close range, you better do the light fireball. If you want to do from a longer range like this, you can do the heavy fireball. Even if you do the light fireball, it's not bad. There are applications for it. For example, you can do this, and then you can do the light fireball, and then immediately drive rush behind it. You see that was a combo. So in some scenarios, the opponent cannot even press anything in between. If they block the fireball, they cannot press anything in between. Sometimes there is a gap. Sometimes you can get it right, and you can time it very well. So there are applications to why you would use a light fireball in neutral, and why you would use a heavy fireball, or why would you use an EX fireball. If you want to use an EX fireball, for example, somebody is like they're pressing buttons or something, you want to get the knockdown. You want to get the knockdown and then maybe drive rush and get in front of their face, so you can start your offense. You can use an EX fireball, but I highly suggest that you don't just throw it like this, because it can be easily parried and you just lose like 2 bars of meter, 2 bars of very precious meter for nothing. All right, so you have to keep that in mind. Another thing is that there's a tension fireball. So the fireball is actually very great for like clipping people. Anybody who's doing punches or something, they're throwing a button, they're trying to whiff, they're trying to fish for like a crouching mini kick or something like that. You can hit them with the Denjin fireball and you get a knockdown. I like to, once I get a knockdown, I don't like to rush in and, you know, and go to the gap. You can do that. It's a valid point that you can, you know, try to close in the gap, to close in the distance between you and the opponent. But what I like to do, once I get a hit, boom, I charge again. I keep it with me. Maybe I can clip them again with something, or I can just, you know, have a better combo next time I'm in front of your face. Another part of the fireball game that we have not mentioned is the fact that you can actually like feint fireballs very well with this, with the light Hashogeki. So for example, if the opponent thinks that you're going to throw a fireball, you can throw a light Hashogeki and it recovers so much faster than even the light fireball. You can bait people who are trying to, for example, you're playing Cammy, you're playing against Cammy, and Cammy wants to do the spinning knuckle punch or whatever it's called. So if she's trying to do that through fireballs, you can bait her with this and then get a punish from her. Okay, same thing with jumps, same thing with people who are trying to super through the you know, the fireballs, or they're trying to like tatsu through the fireballs. That actually works, trying to do this one. Okay, but you have to space it out well. You should not be doing it very close, because it still needs to recover, right? That is one very good aspect that you need to do. The fake fireball, it's very good to, like, you know, to bait people into jumping and trying to do stuff to punish a fire. Second part of playing Ryu in neutral is utilizing the crouching mini kick. Okay, this is a very good button. It's 8 frames, yes. There are some privileged characters with 7 frames crouching mini kick, aka Ken Masters. But anyways, it's 8 frames and it's very good. It reaches very far. It's drive cancelable, so you can, you know, start your offense with it. And even if it's blocked, you know, and do something like this, you'll be plus on block. Let me show you over here. Okay, so you'll be +4 on block. Yeah. So it's a very good way to start the offense. However, it is very expensive. It is 3 bars, so you have to be very careful about it. Don't use it like blindly. You can use it blindly, but what kind of benefit are you gonna get from it? Are you gonna get an overhead? Are you gonna get a grab? But then after the grab, you know, it's difficult to, like, you know, initiate your pressure again. Alright, so you have to be very careful with it. It's a good way. I'm not saying it's a bad way, but it's an expensive way. You have to be very you know, cautious about your meter and your meter management in this game. This is one part of the neutral game. You should not go on burnout in neutral just trying to get into someone. I don't think that's a good idea. This is a true with the heavy fireball. It's a true block. They can't TP in between. They can't throw a DI in between. But if the DI happens, if they press the DI before, you know, before you do a crouching mid kick, you will get hit for sure. Okay, there's a 2 frame gap in here with the light Hadouken. Here there is 1 frame, so it's, if you're going for this, you want to use the heavy one. All right, or you can use this, the light Hashogeki. Okay, which leaves you -4 on block, yes, but you know, it's because of the pushback, it's relatively safe. It's not only safe, it's relatively safe. All right, or you can go with this, which works well because it chips a lot of your drive meter. Okay, but you have to use it from like a very good, you know, from like a very good range, because it can be punched. It's -8 on block. So let me show you over here. See, from there it was a punish. From here it will whiff. So that's the whole point. You have to, like, you know, use it from like max range to, like, you know, chip some of the damage. If it's a hit, it's good. If you get that hit, you can do a charge afterwards, or, you know, closing the gap. Right, you have the option. If it doesn't hit, it's a good, you know, chip to their drive meter, so it's a win-win. However, it can be interrupted with DI. You see, there's a 4 frame gap. It can be interrupted with DI, so you have to be careful about that. All right. that is one of the options that you have with crouching medium kick. One of the other stuff that I really like is to do, you know, the dungeon charge, and instead of doing this, because this is like, it takes like 3 bars, right? I would do this one. It's only 2 bars. It's less expensive, and if it hits them, like in here, I can just dash up and do like that. So then, boom, I'm in front of their face, and I'm 28 frames. I have 28 frames of damage, but that was the corner. Let's see over here. 9 frames of advantage, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper than doing the drive cancel. Okay, the damage is also not bad. The damage is actually quite nice, 2080. Okay, but if you do this, it's actually less damage and it's less corner carry. Look at this. If I do this, I'm only +4 on block. It's less damage. It's less corner carry. Back then when we did that, it was right here. Alright, so I like this option. I like to use dungeon this way. I find this very helpful, and even if it's blocked, it's actually plus on block. Look at this. Look at this. If I do this, this is going to be +4 on block. Okay, so the next point is utilizing your standing medium kick. Okay, so this is a very good button actually for poking from like very long ranges. So for example, if somebody is doing this, I can look at the range of that. Okay, I can do this from this range, and I can be safe because you can see that, you know, reuse hitbox is actually like shrinking from below because it's standing on one leg. Okay, instead of standing on 2 legs, so then there is less you know, chance of you getting hit down on your legs while doing this, right? So you can see it hits very far away. So it's a very good, you know, poking tool. It annoys people sometimes when they're trying to play neutral against you. You can do that, all right? It's also a very good with punishing tool. So for example, if you have the dummy doing this, like crouching medium kick, you can get like a punish counter, and you can get a super afterwards and connect that. All right, it's difficult to do in a match, but it is possible if you have the diagonal reactions. You can be punished with the crouching medium kick like this. So it's both of them are very good tools. You should like definitely mix them up, but be careful that this one can be easily DI'd. If you're doing this all the time, or you're constantly like finishing your block strings and then doing this, you can't eat a DI, and it's not DI cancelable. So if you try to do it in neutral, you have to be aware that if somebody presses DI, you will get punished, unfortunately. All right, it takes long to recover. So, and it's not DI cancelable. It's not like, you know, you can cancel from the animation to DI and counter back to DI. So you can't really do that. All right. But however, it is a very good tool for poking. All right. Another point is you can use the medium dunk kick very well in neutral. Okay, hold up. Let me show you how it will punish this right now. All right. It's very good. It can help you with punishing stuff that are difficult to punish with buttons. But this one, because it goes, look at how far it goes. Okay, and it has a very long hitbox, so it can clip people from here, but be careful that it also can be DI'd on reaction. I don't like using the heavy one much because people are always ready with it for if you do it in neutral, people are ready for it to DI it all the time. So you should definitely be using the medium one most of the time if you're trying to play neutral with donkey kicks. Right? It's good for with punishing some of the stuff. It's good for just poking people with it. Generally speaking, you will not be ready, you know, to DI it back unless you do it a lot. Then yeah, they will be. But if you throw it in neutral from time to time here like that, nobody will be ready for it. Nobody will be ready for it, right? Unless they know for sure that you're gonna do it. Okay, so it's a very good tool. It helps me a lot, and normally what I like to do afterwards, after I do this, boom, I get a charge. Once I get a hit like this, I get a charge. So it's a free charge. Nobody can punish you from here. So it's very good. to get your denji charge. Another tool that I really want to talk about is basically, you know, doing the forward heavy kick. This one, okay? This one is actually a very good tool, but it is dangerous. I find it a little bit dangerous to use because, you know, it is actually like quite punishable. So if you set the dummy to do blocking, you know, standing light punch whenever they block, and you set the dummy to block everything, when we do this, you can see it's a punish. Here it whiffs, at this range it will whiff, but if you do it from here, it's a punish. So you can see that the slightest of changes in your distance, it makes it punishable. However, the nice thing about this is that it goes through the crouching medium kick. So if somebody is always like, you know, fishing for lows, they're trying to do like, you know, crouching medium kick in neutral a lot, so you can hit them with this. Alright, you can hit them with this, it goes through those lows. Where's the super? Yeah, you can get something like this. So it's very good damage. If somebody is always trying to like, you know, fish for lows, like crouching right, crouching medium kick, you can hit them with this. And you know, not everybody knows that it's -4 on block, so they might try to punch with something, they might not try to press anything afterwards, you know. But be careful of the range and utilize it use it with caution. All right, you can always like continue with this, or if you get like a punish counter, you can actually continue with a light kick instead. Hold up. You can do this, alright? Or you can do this, right, which is more expensive. So there are options. This is a good option, but however, be very cautious because it's -4 on block and it can be easily punished. Don't think that the pushback will save you all the time. Not always, but it can save you at some time. One more point with Ryu in neutral is the forward heavy punch or the solar plexus. Okay, I have a full video explaining this and why it's actually very great. For example, if we set the dummy to block everything, and we have the blocking reversal as a crouching medium kick, I can immediately do this. If I do crouching medium kick from max range, I can immediately do a forward heavy punch or solar plexus and get a full punish from it. Alright, so you can always do this if you're trying to press buttons. If you know that the opponent is gonna press a crouching medium kick after your blocked button, you can immediately press forward heavy punch, solar plexus, and then get a you know a punish counter or a whiff punish for their button. That's a very good thing that you can do, but be aware that sometimes if this whiffs, you know, you will be heavily whiff punished. If the person is ready and knows how to whiff punish stuff, you can be whiff punished, you know, heavily. Or if it's blocked, people can DI. You know, if they're seeing it, they can DI it. And you know, you can't really DI back. It's not DI cancelable, so it's not driving back cancelable. So that's very dangerous. If somebody sees you doing this and they react to it, they press the DI, you're gonna eat some damage. So it's very, you have to be very cautious about this. Okay, so the last point that I'm going to talk about is actually the last 2 points. It's a very good option. This is the best option for Ryu's punishing, is using the sweep, because Ryu's sweep is actually 9 frames. It's relatively fast for a sweep, and it has some amazing range. I love to use it. Like when people like are trying to like mash, you know, crouching medium kick like this, I can immediately just whiff punish them. It's so easy. You get the hard knockdown here in front of their face, and then you can start your offense. So using the sweep as a whiff punishing tool is very important. It's so helpful. Just by implementing the sweep as a whiff punishing tool, you will see that your gameplay has improved a lot. Normally, you know, you should be able to like you know, punish stuff that are like, you know, 8 frames, 7 frames like that of startup. Generally it's not about startup, but it's normally about recovery. But I'm just giving you like a rough idea that if something like is, so if you see somebody is whiffing something like this, or something like a sweep, or something like a heavy punch, okay, or something like this, immediately just press this one. Okay, you can punish this, or if you want to be optimal, you can use this one. It is doable. It's more difficult. You know, it's all that damage instead of going for a sweep. But this one is more reliable because of the range. You can stay in the safe range and then hit them with this. All right, it's less damage, but it's more reliable. So one more thing about Ryu's neutral is the standing heavy punch. Standing heavy punch is something that is very important in Ryu's neutral because it is a button that is actually confirmable. When we say that it's confirmable, that means that it is something that you can confirm on reaction. So if somebody blocks it, you can block it. This requires you to have like high execution and high reactions. If somebody blocks this one, you know, you will not cancel into anything. But if it's not blocked, you will drive rush, cancel, and continue your pressure, or you can you know, continue canceling with a special move, or cancel it even with super. Okay, because this the buffer window is so big that you can actually like buffer a super in it. Okay, like I'm not even buffering a super, but once it hits, I immediately buffer it and it comes out. Okay, even level 2 or level 3, you can definitely do that. So keep doing this, having block as random, and when it hits, you drive cancel it, or you cancel with anything else. When it's blocked, you don't cancel. This is a very important exercise that you can do, okay, to improve your view. If you do this successfully, okay, you see, it's a little bit difficult to get it all the time, but even if you don't get it all the time, you are actually improving. You see that I just improved right there. Like I was blocked, I didn't do it, it got hit, I did it. So if you can do this, if you can implement this in your game plan, you will see a lot of like improvement, because it is cancelable. It is, you know, reaction cancelable. You can react to it. Back in Street Fighter 5, people were abusing this crouching medium kick into this one on reaction. If the crouching medium kick hits, they will cancel to Tatsu. If it's not hit, they will not cancel to Tatsu. However, here in this game, you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot do that. You cannot do that on reaction, I mean. But this one, it can be done. So it's very important. It hits very well, and it's 10 frames. It can punish a lot of stuff in the game, and it's a very good with punishing tool. So you can get like a lot of heavy damage from it. So definitely add this to your game plan with Ryu. If you want to improve with Ryu, if you want to play at a high level, definitely keep this exercise in your arsenal every single day. Practice it. It will improve your overall game plan. I've seen people in Burnout, they do this very consistently. Like, you know, if it hits, they do a super level 1, and the damage is insane, man. Just level 1, it's very good, especially the counter hit or something. The damage is very good. So definitely I recommend that you practice the canceling the standing heavy punch on reaction. That is something that is very important if you want to main Ryu. So with that said, I believe that I've covered almost everything in Ryu's neutral game. I think that this is a very, you know, good version of Ryu. However, you have to be, you know, in terms of like neutral game plan, it's good, but however, you have to be very cautious about drive impact, because a lot of the stuff that we have talked about right now, it can be drive impacted, you know, and it will put you in trouble. So you have to be able to utilize all of this at the same time. Use it to your advantage to bait the drive impact. If you see that somebody is always doing drive impact, you know, maybe, you know, back off from the buttons a little bit, back off from like doing like, you know, buttons that you can't cancel to DI from. But if somebody is not doing it, you know, by all means, go ahead and press these buttons. Press, you know, the standing medium kick, do some, you know, medium dunk kicks and stuff like that. You know, it is very good. However, you have to be careful. You have to be cautious with everything in this game, especially against characters that are doing like, you know, that have the luxury of doing crouching medium kick to drive cancel. Not every character can do that. But if you are playing neutral, just be careful when you're playing against Ken, when you're playing against Ryu, characters can do this, because if you get in the range of their button, they're for sure going to do this. So you need to be away from their from the range of their crouching mini kick or their longest button that they are probably gonna use, and make them with it, and then punish them with a sweep. We've punished them with a sweep, or we punish them with this if you're really good at spacing. All right, so I would rather just go for the sweep. It will improve your game plan greatly, and it will help you get in front of your opponent and then start your mix-ups. So implementing this is so important in your game plan. It definitely helped me get into a lot of opponents and actually win a lot of matches. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Share this with your friends. It's not only about Ryu, it's also about other characters. It applies to every other character. Most characters can with punishment sweeps, so that also like applies to them. It's a general topic, but I've used Ryu for ease of understanding, and because I made Ryu and a lot of my audience, they made Ryu also. Alright guys, with that said, I will see you guys next time in another video. Take care, see ya.